Hello people, and welcome to this little video that is going to be about the mod Anarchy. You might remember it from City Skylines 1, where it enabled us to make builds that were a bit more interesting, a bit more configured, customized, by allowing us to put assets and props and objects over or on top of each other. And it pretty much does the same thing now in City Skylines 2. It has a few limitations, we're going to get into that. Unfortunately, I know you console people who aren't able to get mods like this yet, so I'm sorry you're still off, holding off until Paradox and Colossal makes an actual mod store. But for PC players, you can get hold of the mod by going into Google and searching for City Skylines 2 mods. I'm not gonna choose a specific website. I know Thunderstore is considered safe and reliable. I found mods on a few other sites as well by Google searching. So once you follow the instructions and install the mod, you will for one have access to the developer mod as well, or the developer panel, which you get by pressing tab. And we are not going to go into that because I don't want to invite you to make any game-breaking changes you might do in here. But we are going to go into the home button. So if you press home with the mod installed, you get access to this. And what this is basically the entire library of every asset in the vanilla game. And this is just amazing because this opens up doors for people like myself and others who like having fun with detailing and refining little parts of the city just for the fun of it. Because now we can suddenly grab anything and place it wherever we want. Just like we were able to before. And yeah, let's get into how it works now, because it's not without limitations. So let's start. We have a piece of road, so we might as well start with that. Let's say, for example, we have access to decals. You think you might want to change this to 30 miles per hour, or in this case, kilometers. It's not going to work mechanically this way, it's just visual. And as you can see, the decal is kind of a box and it's placed under the road, but the graphic sits on top of the road. And this is all good because if you then consider this and said, oh no, you know what, not going to use that anyways, you can just delete it. But if you did it under here, under the guise that you think you might changing something, whoop, and then you found, okay, that didn't work, I'm going to delete that. And if you're working out from up here, you'll find, wow, why can't I choose it? It's because for some reason, or that's just the way the game is, there's kind of an object box around the 50 marking. But if you come from the side a little bit, you can sort of grab the 30 box. Oh, yeah, see, there it is. And delete it anyways, and we're back to 50. So just a little tip there. But what Anarchy also does is enable us to, let's take a farm as example. I'm just gonna flip this and just make a small field for it. And let's see, oh, it didn't do that right, so we're gonna choose. Some of the farms are bugging a bit when placing them, I don't know why. I've placed that, sorry. I'm gonna let you see all my mistakes here. Hope you can live with that. We're gonna place this, this, and that. Now we have a farm. So, what Anarchy enables us to do is when it's enabled and you take the lead, for example, a bulldoze, you can get in here and you can watch how vehicles behave when they enter the asset or the building. And if you don't like, for example, to have cars go down this way, I think this is probably to make some vehicles go out on the field, but if you don't like that, you can just delete this. But you can also, if you, for example, go, I don't like this grass, I want it to be natural default grass instead. I wish I could do that, but you can. So now I've chosen the target surfaces and I'm going to delete that grass. And then you have a look at it and you kind of go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I want sand. Well, with the new Anarchy mod, if we type in surfaces, or just surface, and you want sand, sand you will get. And you can basically just follow these original points that were already there. And we can just go, I'm just gonna finish this quickly. Let's see. There's your sand. And the great thing is, this is still deletable with the surfaces. So if you decide to put pavement or whatever, well, you can do that. So it kind of gives you, or gives us a lot more, or a few more options in case of surfaces, these many, to configure or refine our builds and add a lot more personality to them. Now, another way it's interesting is, let's say, for example, you would like to make custom buildings. For example, let's go and find commercial, and you want something high, like this one. Yeah, sure, why not? So we place this, and you kind of thinking, nah, I want it to look more interesting. I don't want it to look like it's the normal building. I want it to stand out a bit, be larger. You can go like this now. And we can place it roughly like this. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. This is, the age of compromises. And mind you, this will not, to my knowledge, act as two buildings. It will appear as so, as a new larger building, right? It's just something different. It's, an alternative, a customization. But the vehicles will only still be connected to here. I do believe we have a mod that can disable this warning sign, so we don't have to look at it. So yeah, and then I guess we could also get hold of the mod that prevents abandoned buildings, so nothing gets deteriorated and suddenly you have a pile of rubble here. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then let's say, okay, now we have this hotel or motel or whatever it is, and I want this place outside to be kind of a motel eating area, kind of for a restaurant, if this was the restaurant door or whatever, right? And then we go in here and we find table and table sets, and the vanilla game would like to use sets like this. And I think we can agree that this is unnatural now. In the real world, not that we have to be completely puristic and real and all that, chairs are not placed like this, or on the tables. So if we find the same table, and we find the same chairs, I think it's chair 1, right? Oh, chair 2. Now, with Anarchy, we can place them as if someone stood up, pushed the chair back and left. Kind of offset a little bit. And let's say there were only 2 people here having dinner or something else. The other 2 chairs here would be pushed in on the table, most likely. And maybe, it's always the wife in the relationship that is neat and puts her chair back in. So we place it like this. And suddenly this looks like it has a lot more personality. At least in my point of view, right? This, compared to this, I think this is way better. Of course, you can just keep adding chairs until you get the right color combination. It doesn't have to be like this with a mix of yellow, red and gray. But it's just to show an example of how we now have the option to refine our builds a lot more. And of course it means you can also kind of go in here and customize road sides. You can even find, let's say we were in France and people were protesting, or farmers were protesting against the government. Maybe a few of them came into the city and they went like this and dumped their load on the road. Yes, so to speak. So yeah, now you can do that if you want to. But it also, just like something like those vents we have, let's see where we can find commercial roof vent. Yeah, why not? We might find it interesting for whatever reason to have a vent placed like this. Why not? It's your city. Maybe you're doing a kind of a futuristic or steampunk kind of thing, or eventually once we get more assets, you can do this. But unfortunately, we cannot go into the y-axis as in up and down. So even though I could dream about placing this vent or placing 10 of this vent on top of the roof, it's not possible. I try here, but it ends up over there. It's because these assets are still locked at ground level. And that's just the way it is for now. I'm pretty sure that's going to be fixed with a mod anytime soon. But as you can see, we have a lot more options now. So it's just time to get into it, right? But of course, there are a lot more mods to be wished for. What specific mods were you hoping for we get to see soon from City Skylines 1? I could mention a few that I thought was very important to get as soon as possible, but I'd rather hear what you think. There were so many great mods in City Skylines 1. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, and thanks for stopping by, and I hope you found it useful. So from now on, it's only left for me to say, have a happy new year, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.